Hey everyone, this is Rogue Rage from Final Turn. First and foremost, I'd like to apologize to our subscribers and any other viewers about our lack in content recently. You know, being busy, having lives, getting hit hard by life, it happens. But we're gonna start bringing some more content back now that we're heading into the G series of cards and new buddy fight cards that we're getting. So yeah, today we're just going to bring something simple. I'm going to give you my Dark Irregulars Legion deck. This is not the Astaroth Legion, of course. I built this deck mostly because I wasn't sure when we were getting the Astaroth Legion, but because I'm planning to build Gear Chronicle anyway, and we found out when we were getting Astaroth, I will be making changes, obviously. Well, I'll be scrapping the deck to build Astaroth, but I've been having lots of fun with this deck, and yeah, I just like to share it with you guys. So, starting off, we've got our starter Greedy Hand. His effect is obviously Forerunner. And then you counterblast one, put this unit into your soul, search your deck for up to one grade 2 or less Dark Irregular, put it into your soul and shuffle your deck. This card is really solid. With my build, I pretty much just try to hit 10 soul really fast and then sit on top of our grade 3 bosses. Pretty straightforward, nothing too confusing. I don't find the Dark Irregulars are a very confusing clan to begin with. But, yeah, solid starter. Helps fuel that soul. On to our trigger lineups. I run 4 Amon's Follower Cruel Hand, so crit trigger. And 4 Blitz Ritter, so 8 crit in total. I do wish that I had Cruel Hand and Dark Knight of Nightmareland, but unfortunately I just couldn't find him, so Blitz Ritter will have to do. Can't seem to get my hands on him. I run your standard 4 heal. And instead of the Hysteric Shirleys, just because once again I couldn't find them, can't seem to get a playset, I run 4 Amon's Follower Meteor Cracker, sorry. It's a stand trigger. I do like how the stand trigger plays out in this deck. I was thinking of running 6/6, 6 crit, 6 stand, just because when you're hitting those good numbers with the Psychic Legion, it is nice to hit a stand trigger on your drive checks. Just, pressurize your opponent. On to my grade 1s. I run 4 March Rabbit of Nightmareland. I love this perfect card. Probably one of my favorite artworks in the card game as a whole. I do want to switch him out, however, for Vlad Specula just because of the Amon support. Not that I usually have to ride perfect guards, but in the off chance that I do, I'd still like to be able to fuel the soul with all of Amon's followers. So yeah, I'll probably be switching those out. I run not 4, but 3 Doreen the Thruster. I know I'll get some crap for that. Some people are like, oh no, you have to run Doreen at 4. You have to. I personally like her at 3 because sometimes I feel 4 is a little bit too cloggy for her. She's a great card if you don't know her skill. It's during your main phase when a card is put into your soul, if you have a Dark Irregular Vanguard, this unit gets plus 3,000 till the end of turn. It does stack, so it is a really useful skill. The only problem with it that I find, especially late game, is you don't want to be soul charging too much late game, so when you've got those good columns, you'll still soul charge, but you don't want to, you don't want to get too crazy with the soul charge just for the big numbers, because then you thin your deck out and you lose and you deck out. But I do like putting her behind her grade 2 clone, the Legion Mate. And then I run 3 Yellow Bolts. This is my favorite first turn ride, just because his skill is rest this unit if you have a Dark Irregular Vanguard. This is active from Vanguard or Rearguard, so when you rest him, you soul charge 1. So I love riding him first turn simply because since you can't attack first turn anyway, rest him, soul charge, start filling that soul pretty quick. I run 4 Alluring Succubus. Her skill is when this unit is placed on Vanguard or Rearguard, if you have a Dark Irregulars Vanguard, you may soul charge 1. Like I said, quick soul charge, just place her soul charge, and then you can attack with her boost with her, whatever you'd like. Her 7k base makes her pretty solid. So that's it for the grade 1s. Grade 2s, I run 4 Free Traveler. Her skill, her or his, there's been a little bit of debate on whether it's a guy or girl. I just go with her. Counterblast 1, when this unit is placed on Vanguard or Rearguard. If you have a Dark Regulars Vanguard, you may pay the cost. If you do, search your deck for up to 1 grade 2 or less Dark Regular and put it into your Soul and shuffle your deck. Much like Greedy Hand, except she doesn't go into Soul. But other than that, I like her because she's got her 8k base. Throw her down. Like I said, keep filling that Soul. I run 3 Blue Dusts. Effect, when this unit attack hits, if you have a Dark Regular Vanguard, Soul Charge. And last of the grade 2s, I run 4 Psychic of Dust Isaiah. This is the Legion mate for Hadar. He is the Doreen clone. During your main phase, when a card is put into your soul, if your Vanguard is in Legion, it gets plus 3,000. So it's really nice when you're in Legion, having him with Doreen behind him, because then you're just hitting for great numbers if you're soul charging, and then you're hitting that 10 soul, and it wreaks havoc. It's pretty nice. On to grade 3s. I run 4 Echo of Nemesis. I do not run the Break Ride in this deck. I've been told to run the Break Ride in the deck. I personally don't like it. I think Echo of Nemesis is great to end games with. He's that good end game push, so play Legion early, pressurize your opponent with those big columns, and then hit with this guy. If you don't know, he's got the Glory effect, so when this unit attack hits, and it is a limit break, which is kind of annoying, but I mean, if I was running a Break Ride, I'd still be relying on a limit break, but it's a pretty good effect. So when this unit attacks, if the number of cards in your soul is 10 or more until the end of that battle, this unit gets plus 10,000. Your opponent cannot call grade 1 or greater units from hand to the Guardian Circle. So it's pretty solid because... Oh, wow. Sorry. It's pretty solid because it acts almost as a pseudo-Legion with the numbers that it's hitting unboosted. So it's hitting for 21 unboosted anyway, as long as you've got that 10 in soul. And then the Glory skill, once you're hitting over 20, it's pretty solid. And his second skill is an act. If you soul blast a grade 0, you can soul charge 2. So that helps with not Isaiah in this case because he needs a Legion, but it helps with Doreen and getting those nice numbers. It can only be used once per turn. And then I run 4 Psychic of Ash Hadar. His skill is when it attacks a Vanguard. It's his Legion skill. So, add the 4 to your deck, search mate, boom. When this unit attacks a Vanguard, if this unit is in Legion and the number of cards in your soul is 6 or more, it gets plus 5,000 until the end of that battle. Then if the number of cards in your soul is 10 or more, choose 2 of your units and they get plus 5,000 until end of turn. That's solid because it's pretty much like assigning a trigger to any of your, you could either add 2 triggers to a column or a trigger to each column, spread out the pressure, and then you're giving this guy another pressure boost before being boosted while he's in Legion. So it's all about pressurizing your opponent with those good columns. That's what Dark Regulars is really known for because they don't really have much else going for them. And just like Nemesis, you could Soul Blast a grade 0 to Soul Charge 2, and it could only use once per turn. So then in that case, you'd be feeling Isaiah and Doreen. So if you're hitting for those good columns, that for me is the prime setup. You want Legion. I mean, you don't often get the prime setup, especially with Dark Regulars having to Soul Charge. But I've pulled it off a few times where you've got Legion, Isaiah, Doreen, and then only once have I ever gotten Doreen in the back row as well. All 3 spots in the back row. Very lucky. Doesn't usually happen, but I was hitting for great numbers, and then I rode into Nemesis and pushed for game. And I think that's probably the strength of this deck, the fact that you've got 2 bosses that just pressurize so heavily that in the end, your opponent's left with, oh shit. The only problem, that oh shit face, but the only problem that I do find is that early game, the hand advantage is kind of lacking, so I think that I'm going to start running 6 crits, 6 draw, just because with all the soul charging, you're just not relying on hand as much because I like to play pretty aggressively with them. So I'm playing field, soul charging, but then if my opponent counter rushes, I'm left assed out, to be honest. But other than that, I really do enjoy playing the deck. If you guys have any of your own Legion builds, feel free to comment with them, share them. I'd love to hear them. And yeah, so like I said in the beginning, guys, sorry for the lack of content recently. We will be trying to put up more content. Just bear in mind that we are college students and we do get busy. Yeah, I've got football, classes, work. It gets rough, but yeah. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Like, comment, subscribe, and thanks for being loyal fans. Bye, guys.